Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is Kenya Revolutionary for another session. Today is Saturday. I hope you're doing good wherever you are. For those of you who I know probably are still watching the Premier League for the last weeks, I hope your team is winning or whatever the case is. But karibuni sana, I'll be very brief today. I won't be here for long. I'll probably be an hour max, or less than an hour. Just depends, okay? So hopefully we don't have more glitches by my favorite hackers who come and try to sabotage the channel, but they're also welcome. So before I get started, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We talk about Kenyan politics and world politics as it relates to Kenya. A lot is happening. And again, if you are already subscribed, please, you know the first order of business, that is to like the video. Like the video. I see Pretty Kakaur on the chat. Go ahead and like the video, please. Thank you so much. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I'll be brief. And also for those of you who are going to watch this on repeat, do the same. The first order of business is to like the video. Like it, subscribe, share, comment, do all the good stuff. Karibuni. And comment. I want to hear your feedbacks about all the things that we talk about here. Very quickly, I just want to talk about Justice Mwilu, Deputy Chief Justice Mwilu, and also regarding Gachagua as it relates to what is next for him with his whole case thing. Today it will be less than politics. I'll get to the politics part. I mean, the political part, because I know you like politics. Kenyans with politics is like a fish without water, or a fish with water, sorry. But yes, I will get to the political stuff. We shall discuss Salasya with his rants against Aiko and the Luo community and the things he was saying on Twitter, which is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, because at first he was everyone was looking up to Salasya and were happy, excited. He's talking about running for president. Everyone was feeling sorry for him after he was attacked in that stadium when Harambee Stars were playing Gabon. You know, it is rumored or said or alleged that the people who attacked him were Raila Odinga supporters, because you remember before that he was making some comments about Raila Odinga, saying Raila natucheza, which everyone was supporting him. A lot of people, not everyone, but majority of Kenyans felt like he was saying the truth. Raila is taking us for a ride. But again, if you know, Raila Odinga supporters are one of the most intolerant people you can ever meet. So, after he got punched, again, it is not guaranteed that whoever attacked him that day was Raila supporters. It was alleged that he was Raila supporter. It may have been people who just wanted to, didn't like Salasya, or maybe they were setting up Salasya just because they don't like him. Salasya is, he talks his talk. He's not afraid of speaking his mind. And so he was quickly becoming the people's favorite, but he kind of lost the plot when after his rants earlier today or last night or whatever the case is, a few hours ago, after he said what he said about the Luo community, which kind of, even his ardent supporters are like, we'll discuss about that briefly. Like I said, I will be very brief today. I will not hold you. I know you got stuff to do. I will be very brief. Okay. Again, what else is happening? Of course, I already hit that, horse enough. I talked about the new faces. I won't talk about that anymore. The new faces who are being presented to us as the new leaders. It's almost like it's 92 again. 1992, remember the young Turks at the time were Raila Odinga, Orengo, Charity Ngilu, Anyang' Nyong'o, Martin Shikuku, Matiba, and others who are, standing up, rising up, fighting for multi-party politics, okay, in Kenya, which they succeeded, okay? So fast forward, it's 2025. Now we have Revolutionary Alliance, Morara, Kasmuel, and others. We already talked about that yesterday, so I won't delve into much deeply. Let me just get started with the initial stuff that I want to talk about, which is Justice Philomena Mwilu, the Deputy Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Now, here is my question, and lawyers, if you're here, I will put a link so you can come talk to me, okay? Give me your interpretation of things. If you're going to watch this on repeat, please give it on the comment section. If you don't have the time to watch it now because you're probably watching Premier League or doing some other stuff, I need your answer on this. Okay, let's review. The legislative body, starting with the parliament, they went and voted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua as the vice president, okay? Out of the deputy presidential position, right? Are we together? Let's go step by step. They took that thing to the Senate. Senate did the same, okay? Then, of course, during the process, we remember, I forgot that lawyer who kind of just dismantled the whole case against the people who are pro voting Rigathi Gachagua out. And Rigathi Gachagua was supposed to be afforded more time, and there was supposed to be time for discovery, for people to gather evidence that supports what they were claiming, the charges that were leveling against Rigathi Gachagua, which was not the case. He wasn't afforded that time, and they quickly rushed to vote him out, to impeach him. And the impeachment took place, which was unconstitutional, given the process itself. The procedure was unconstitutional because Rigathi Gachagua was supposed to, speak or, defend himself, okay, at the Senate, which he did not, among other things, all right? Then after that, of course, Gachagua went and took the case to the courts, okay, after what happened in the unconstitutional nature of his impeachment. He decided to go to the courts. So we leave the legislative body. We know the process was unconstitutional. Now he had to move to the courts, right? And in the process of, before he even got started in the courts, the process of empaneling the 3-bench judges that were going to hear that case, that alone was illegal. I made a video about that. If you can go back during that Rigathi trial, you can see my videos. Among other people, all the lawyers that know anything about Kenyan Constitution made a very clear point that this whole thing was not supposed to do it. What was so unconstitutional about it? Number one, the Deputy Chief Justice had no constitutional authority to empanel a 3-man judges to oversee that cases, to adjudicate on that issue. That was a role that is spelled out in the Constitution, that is supposed to be the role of the Chief Justice, Koome. It happens that Chief Justice Koome was not in town that day, okay? But still, what was the hurry? She was going to come back anyway. But Mwilu hurriedly at night, okay? And even Rigathi Gachagua's lawyers, if you remember, they were filing the stuff. They didn't even get the notification because they're supposed to be notified if the justice makes the nenio. They just found out at night that, Justice Philomena Mwilu, who is the Deputy Chief Justice, okay, who took it upon herself to empanel these 3 judges, okay, to see this thing. She did that at night. Remember, if you want to know things that are going wrong in Kenya, if you want to know that something is suspicious, it's always happening at night. Just like the Kibaki swearing in, always at night, okay? That the evil things happen. But anyway, and a lot of people made a lot of noise. I raised that issue here, quoting different judges, Aiko, Miguna, and others, whatever, saying that, hey, this process is... Even Gachagua's lawyers made this very same case once they went before these 3 judges, okay? And they said, hey, listen, the process in which this thing was done is unconstitutional, and we shouldn't be going through this. But, in a typical Kenyan fashion, people just bulldoze their way forward without even caring about what the law says, or they just ignore the law because they feel they're more powerful than that piece of paper called the Constitution. Karibu sana Gypsy. Weka like. Please, guys, make sure you like the video. So that's what happened. So we went on, and we also, the process, the whole arguments were made. The government side, the pro impeaching Rigathi Gachagua side, and Rigathi Gachagua's lawyers made their case too. And So anyway, long story short, the 3-panel judges decided that Rigathi Gachagua was impeached constitutionally, which was a shocking, ruling by these judges. Okay, and in fact, the the funny part of it, the eerie part of it, the unusual, unnatural part of it was that they had one opinion. Okay, usually when there's a case like this that goes in the higher courts, every judge votes concur or just has a different view, but they usually write their opinion on the issue, how they arrived at that that ruling. But all of these guys, they kind of wrote one or their opinion. They gave their opinion in one in one statement, okay? Which is very unusual. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I see you. I say you. Unasema first order in the houses. Please like the video as usual. Thank you so much. Karibu sana, karibu. So that was what made it very peculiar, okay? Usually, like I said, when these judges make a ruling of that magnitude, every judge always gives their opinion on how they arrived at their, decision, okay? Which wasn't the case. These guys just wrote one ruling on the behalf of all three, okay? Now, akasema Gachagua ame. Okay, so Gachagua, of course, took the case to the appellate court, which yesterday made a ruling and said, Justice Mwilu, Deputy Justice Mwilu, okay, the Deputy Chief Justice, Philomena Mwilu, did not have the constitutional authority powers to empanel these 3-man bench judges to oversee or to hear Gachagua's case. So now here's the question. Here's the $1 million question. And this is where the lawyers, I need you in here. Give your opinion on this. If you're going to watch this on repeat, please do the same. Give me your opinion on this. I want to hear this. I wish I had lawyers in here. I would put the link here so I can hear it. Now, that essentially undo I don't know. It nullifies the ruling by these 3-bench judges that were picked by Philomena Mwilu. You understand what I'm saying? Because Mwilu had no authority to pick them in the first place. So whatever ruling they gave regarding Gachagua's case is null and void because they were not even supposed to be there. You get what I'm saying? So if that is the case, we are back to step 1. So my question is this, okay? The decision at the legislative body still remains regarding Gachagua is impeached. Now, of course, Rigathi Gachagua was challenging the constitutionality of the process, okay, which majority of experts agree was illegal, unconstitutional. But here it is, we went through this process, and the judges that ruled on the matter were actually illegally impaneled. The person who picked them did not have that authority to pick them. So where does Rigathi Gachagua go after this? What's his next steps? What's his next step, legally speaking, that is? I'm not talking about the politics. Let's leave the politics for a minute. Okay? So where does it leave Rigathi Gachagua? Do we start the same process again? Him filing, petitioning in one of the courts, high court, whatever the case is, so that Koome this time, hopefully she won't be absent like she was the last time, Koome this time empanels a new 3-man bench to oversee his case so the case starts afresh? Or does this automatically mean that Gachagua is, he's still the DP? So that's what they say. Okay, now I was slow. There I got the answer. I thought they say they elected a new 3 benches to replace the whole thing. Okay, so that basically means Gachagua's is not off the hook. This time, Koome has to pick 3 judges or whatever, not more than 3 or whatever the case is. That's what the Constitution says. I think it's Article 166 or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. But so that means that the process has to start again. The judicial process to oversee this case again has to start anew. So tunaanza tena another drama, another court case, another Koome will. So that is what I was wondering, and that's what I didn't know that part. Thank you so much for letting me know. I did not get that part. I did not follow it. So just quickly, just to address the just so you can get up, Ninio. Let me listen to this clip, which Ninio. So which means Gachagua tena kesi yake itaanza tena. But again, this time, whether this is so tricky, because what does that mean for not only Gachagua but Kindiki? Is it still? I mean, is he? It's a mess. 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 It's a whole new mess. Okay. Aya, wacha tuangalie hapa hivi this new list. Please guys, ebu like in your kabla tukiendelea. All right, let me just play this real quick about Justice Mwilu. I didn't hear this. Sasa hii hata pia imekataa kucheza. Sasa hii leo, hey, shetani wa marakara. All right, we shall play.
Arguing that only the Chief Justice has the authority to make such appointments. The Court of Appeal has quashed a decision by Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu made on October the 18th, 2024, to constitute a 3-judge bench to hear a petition challenging.
Sorry guys. Kuna shida kidogo. You know, I have to get it straight. Ndio basi.
The Court of Appeal has quashed a decision by Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu made on October the 18th, 2024, to constitute a 3-judge bench to hear a petition challenging the removal of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua from office. The appellate court further directed that the matter be referred to the Chief Justice, who holds the exclusive mandate to empanel a bench to hear and determine such matters. Deputy Chief Justice Mwilu had appointed Justices Aiko, Anthony Mrima, and Freedom Gambi to hear the case, an action Gachagua's legal team challenged as unconstitutional, arguing that only the Chief Justice has the authority to make such appointments. It remains to be seen how this legal process will unfold in the coming days. The Court of Appeal has quashed a decision by Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu made on October the 18th, 2024, to constitute a 3-judge bench to hear a petition challenging the removal of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua from office. The appellate court further directed that the matter be referred to the Chief Justice, who holds the exclusive mandate to empanel a bench to hear and determine such matters. Deputy Chief Justice Mwilu had appointed Justices Aiko, Anthony Mrima, and Freedom Gambi to hear the case, an action Gachagua's legal team challenged as unconstitutional, arguing that only the Chief Justice has the authority to make such appointments. It remains to be seen how this legal process will unfold.
All right, enough. Hold on. Okay. So there you are. So I guess Koome we have to go through the whole drama again. They'll have to appoint now. This time Koome has to empanel a 3-man bench to overlook Gachagua's case again. Then we'll have to go through the whole thing. And this might drag, like Gypsy Corner is saying, it might drag till the election time, because guess what? If this thing goes to court, we know it's going to take a month. Alafu, if the ruling is done, let's say mid somewhere in August, whatever the case is going to be. Of course, if they lose, they will go to the appellate court again. Then if they lose there, they might take it up to the Supreme Court. So itaendelea hivi na hivi na hivi. Yani, the things will be dragging. Karibu sana Annie, I see you. The Gachagua could rejoin Ruto's government. Oh, wait. I raised that question yesterday. Yes, Nani anasema, I have a feeling that Gachagua could rejoin Ruto's government. It's Kenya, anything is possible. I posed that question yesterday and I said, could it be possible? Because if you look at it, listen to me carefully. if you look at it, the person who is being not ostracized, but who is being put in a corner is Odinga, Raila Odinga, and the ODM. I know you might be looking at me and saying, what do you mean? Naona Ani uko karibu, umeingia karibu sana. Ani, hebu dunga like kabla hujasema hata hello. Sitaki kusikia hello kabla hujadunga like. Nimekasirika na wewe kwa sababu sijakuona kwa siku mingi, lakini karibu sana. I understand why Bitenga gave it a wide berth. Hizi kazi zao. Anyway, so this is what I wanted to say. If you look at it broadly, I'm playing politics. You know, easy mashinanigans zao, unajua, it's entertainment, but you know, it's to confuse the masses. But what I think is happening, Skia, listen carefully to what I'm talking about. The biggest loser in this whole arrangement that's going on here is going to be Raila Odinga. Now, listen carefully, and I think he understands this. Sorry, guys. I think he understands this. That's why he's hanging on to this Sifuna faction of ODM who are really raising questions about, you know, the MOU and the reason why they should renew. Syllabus inakimbia sana. So anyway, this is what I'm saying. I want to connect it with the Salasya saga. This is all connected. Listen to me carefully. Gachagua once said, that if Ruto goes to him or the people of Mount Kenya and apologizes for whatever, you know, maybe impeaching him or whatever the case is, or kuacha watu wa Mount Kenya, he's willing to forgive. That is what he said. That is what Gachagua said. I'm paraphrasing what he said. Akienda kiomba msamaha, it will be wanaweza wakarudiana, okay? Now, peep game. Oscar Sudi, we know now, Oscar Sudi is the guy who is funding this whole Salasya thing, okay? What is Salasya's move right now? Okay? You know? Duty niko pia, duty pia, hiyo ni sawa, niko chonjo. Nafanya zote. I'm multitasking. So hopefully, you know. But anyway, very quickly, that's why I can't be here for long. But I really wanted to ask these questions because I want you guys to think. It's all about thinking here. Ama namna gani? Tufikirie mara moja. Think of this like this. Connect the dots, all right? Mtu anachezwa hapa ni Raila. Na anachezwa game ya mbali. Look, peep this, all right? Listen. Nani, Ruto knows that ODM might wanaweza kumwacha. Unasikia? Because he's looking at the cracks that are happening at ODM. Na naona hawa wakina Sifuna, Orengo, they're not even Anyang' Nyong'o. They didn't even attend that Were's funeral, okay? That's number one. You might say, okay, whatever the case is. But it's clear that there's cracks within ODM. And Ruto anaelewa kwamba Raila si mtu wa kuaminiwa. I mean, we know Raila Odinga. Anaweza kukaa na wewe alafu mwishowe anakuacha tu hivyo. I mean, he was with Moi until Moi akaona Moi is losing and is akarukwa. Moi chose Uhuru Kenyatta in 2002. Then he left. Akaenda nini. And there's rumors that ODM might leave this MOU arrangement with UDA. Okay? Wanasema Raila anamtime tu atamwacha. So Ruto pia mpaka ajipange. Ama namna gani? Because if he loses Nyanza is kind of losing. Anatupiwa sijui vitu hapa na vile. Okay. I'm sorry guys. My assistant is not happy. She's crying. I'll be done. But so nasikia. Tuko mstari wa mbele. Mukae mstari wa mbele, mweke like tafadhali. Mukae mstari wa mbele, Anyway, listen to me. This is my train of thought before I lose it. Unajua Ani akiingia hapa naanza kucheka sana. Hata nitasahau nimefanya nini. Ani hebu weka like hapo. But what I'm saying is this. Okay? Ruto knows that Raila is not to be trusted. Akiangalia ODM hasn't fully embraced this MOU. There are cracks within. Kuna ile faction ya kina Orengo, Sifuna, because everyone, unaona wakina Mbadi were making noise. They're saying we are in government, we are doing nini, we are what? Because they are, of course, they're in government. Then, not Sakaja. Sifuna went and said what he said, and Raila backed him up. Raila said the official position of the party is spelled out by the WHO, Secretary General. Who is Sifuna? Lakini akaambia Sifuna, thank you. Thank you nani. Akaambia Sifuna, lakini hiyo ukali uweke sikae sana, usikwae mkali sana. So basically, as a UDA person, as Ruto, looking at what was happening in Migori, the fact that wakina Orengo hawakwenda hapo, Anyang' Nyong'o didn't go there, whatever the case is, he understands that there's a strong faction of the ODM who are trying to align themselves with the general public who are really against this whole arrangement, okay? And they're saying no. So he might be feeling that at some point, maybe ikifika karibu huko, tukikaribia election, Raila will leave me, okay? Raila ataniwacha kwa mataa. But so he's looking for a plan B. Plan B is, okay, I will sacrifice the Luo Nyanza vote in case ODM waniwache, wakiwataka kuniwacha, I'll jump out first by doing what? Let me get with the Western. By using Nani, Uyu Salasya. So Salasya is doing the groundwork for Ruto. Of course, we know that Nani ndiye alimpatia anam finance, Oscar Sudi, anam finance. That's why Salasya was, exposing things about Raila. And now he's even explicitly saying that Wajaluo are the problem or whatever the case is, getting all tribal and nonsensical, okay? But the whole point is to get Salasya to bring that Luya vote, okay? So listen to me. This is the long con game ambayo inaingia hapa. So, tukikaribia huko tukikaribia elections, and Ruto feels strongly that Raila will leave him at some point. Ruto will try to reach out to Wamunyoro. Amwambie Wamunyoro, unasikia? Ilikuwa tu misunderstanding kidogo, turudiane. Kenyans, we know that. I mean, remember when Ruto and Uhuru didn't get along? After the election, what happened? Sina nani alienda huko Ishaweri wakakaa chini wakakunywa chai. So that is what I mean. Nothing you can never put. So think about it. If you I'm trying to I'm just getting into the tribal nonsense. We should be above this, but just for the sake of entertainment, for shits and giggles, I'll just give you what might be happening. So just think about it. If Ruto uses Salasya to get the Western, you already have nani wakina this speaker speaker and Musalia Mudavadi wako kwa ninyo yake. So if he goes and get Wamunyoro back in the fold, na apate to get Mount Kenya back to back him up, because of course Ruto will come to them and tell me, listen, munipatie tu hii kura moja one more time, ikifika 2032 whatever, 2031 whatever the case they'll held on you, Wamunyoro will take over and continue. Of course, I don't know how, I don't know, for those of you who understand Mount Kenya politics better than me, I don't know how Mount Kenya might feel about Ruto, rekindling his friendship with his deputy president or former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. I don't know how that will work. I don't know if the Mount Kenya people will be boarding, because the general feeling right now is ule mzee wachane naye ameshikana na Ruto. But if Ruto leaves that mzee ashikane na yeye, of course Ruto will come back asema huyo mganga aliniroga, akaniingiza kwa serikali, akaingia kwa serikali, akaanza kuniambia niweke watu wake, whatever. And then by that time, listen, already Wamunyoro has a faction of the Western province with Wamalwa and all these people, and he has Kalonzo, which brings in the Kamba vote, okay? Then he has, of course, if he gets Gachagua, he will be having the what? The Mount Kenya vote, depending on if the Mount Kenya will board, okay? So wakiingizana, wakishikana hivyo, Ruto will be in good hands. If you are still talking about, I'm just speaking in terms of the tribal politics. That's not what I'm advocating. I'm just saying in the tribal nature of Kenya, if it was to go that way, that's how they are going to play it. Ruto arudi kwa Gachagua, Gachagua msamee, and the promise will be, mimi nimebaki na miaka 5, nikimaliza Gachagua we take over. But all I need for you to guarantee you the win in 2032, just support me for the next 5 years. Nimalize term yangu alafu mimi niishie, alafu we chukue usukani. Deal. Haya. Alafu atarudi ninio wa Mount Kenya seme, oh, yo mganga liniroga, whatever. And Raila will be left with Ninio Coast and Nyanza province. Those 2 provinces are not enough to actually get him anywhere if he decides to run for president. But there's still a lot to Ninio. Personally, I'm not buying into this whole political Ninio. Like I said, I also maintain, even if he's in my machinations and these tribal patterns and kusanyika hiyo, I'm not with that. I am above that. I'm not saying I'm above that as I'm better than them. I'm saying we should think beyond that. We should think of overhauling the system. That is what I usually advocate. I'm just saying that, trying to put some spells on... Biden na yeye pia unanichekesha. I'm here to put some spells on Kasongo. Anyway, so that is what I'm trying to say. That's why I think this blood base or broad base or bread base arrangement between Raila Odinga is very shaky. It's not strong in its core. And very soon watawachana. And I think trial ya Gachagua, in my opinion, listen to me. This is the game that they're playing. In my opinion, it is going to be dragged to reach it mpaka ifike a few months up to elections the next election, which might be 2026 or 2030. Kwa sababu this issue of elections being held in 2026 shall rear its ugly head again. Okay? It will be considered very soon. So that's another news. That's why I'm saying Raila napangwa. Na ye pia anafikiria, I'm pretty sure he has a plan B. Akijitenga na Ruto, who will he back up when akiwachana na Ruto? Who will Raila back up and try to be with? I don't see anyone who's meaningful who can stay with Raila Odinga at this point, because a lot of these young, ambitious politicians are looking at him as a passing cloud. Ujamaa amebaki with basically, he won't be here in the next 10, 20 years or whatever the case is. Even if he's alive, he'll be in a vegetative state where, his word won't carry much weight like it used to. But I'm quite exposed. So, and then there's also the Gen Z factor, which are not buying the whole political class in general. I was just describing the politics, how it plays within the political class, how they align themselves and try to get the population to align themselves politically based on ethnicity. Okay, so if you're doing the ethnic politics, I think the biggest loser is Raila. So Raila, the only way Raila can try to reinvent himself or to endear himself with the people, which I think will not work, is if, in case Ruto gets back with Gachagua, okay, and the whole Wamunyoro people join Ruto, Raila will, the only way he can try to do is to try to endear himself with the Gen Zs. That's the only way he can have some level of relevance in the political sphere. He has to align himself with the Gen Zs. But in my opinion, it won't work, because I think syllabus ya colonial master ifuatwe. Kabisa. Hapo nimekubali yani. But unfortunately for Raila Odinga, I don't think the Gen Z will buy what he's selling, because given his history, they will remind him that, listen, you are the guy who actually helped Kasongo survive this long. The guy was gone, okay? So that's why I'm saying, in the event Kasongo rekindles his friendship with Gachagua, and now this so-called opposition, because remember, even listen to Martha Karua when he was in JKL. Martha Karua alisema nini? She says something very interesting. He said, Ruto and Raila are my brothers. We just differ ideologically, which was shocking because we know the history of Martha Karua and Ruto. Martha Karua does not like Kasongo, does not, okay? But for her to say something like that, it gives room for her in the future maybe to work in Ruto's government or to work together with Ruto as far as politically, if they are going to, if one of they agree on who is going to, run for presidency. And if Ruto wins the second term, so anyway, sorry about that. Attack imeanza. So anyway, it seems like Eritrea hamefukuza Langley from the country. That's good. I hope they shut down all the Ninio, all the US bases, the military bases that they have, because I think they have one of the Eritrea has so many military bases there. China is there, US is there, and Eritrea is an interesting Ninio. Yeah, his credibility is low. Joseph Bedas, I agree with you. His credibility is low. So Eritrea is Ninio, but yeah, that is what's happening up here. I was going to touch on something else, but time is not on my side. So guys, unfortunately, I will leave it here. So, but just do me a favor, guys. Do me a huge favor. Ebu wakeni hiyo like button. Muifinye kabisa. Muifinye mpaka kidole usikie kama inavunjika. Hiyo like button, na kama uja subscribe and share this with all the new. I'll continue these discussions with you probably tomorrow or maybe this evening or late night or asubuhi ya usiku wa manane ya Kenyan time. I might come on again so we can have more discussions about this. We shall talk about the young folks who are actually taking the position, are inheriting they're the new faces of this oppressive regime, the new faces of the political elites, okay, the Kasmuas, the Moraras. Those are what I want to really talk about because they know. But asanteni sana, and it's nice seeing you, Joseph Bedas, Principal Kaur, nani pia nimekuona hapo, Gypsy Kona nakuona pia hapo, and everybody else who has joined me. I'm sorry I have to stop here. I didn't want to stop because nilikuwa nataka kuweka ninio link watu waingie na wazumze, but unajua shughuli pia iko ama namna gani, maisha mpaka imeshikana kidogo. But thank you guys. Just make sure if this is your first time, please subscribe, share, like, comment, and do all the good stuff. If you're going to watch this in repeat, do the same. The first order of business is what? Like the video, okay? And make sure that notification is on, so every time I come in live, you get notification that I'm live and you join in. And if you always want the link, I'll put the link to Tuongee, argue, laugh, cry, to tukanane, and all that. Linus Gitonga, I see you. Nice seeing you, brother. Make sure you like. I hope you're doing well, brother. I'm sorry, I'm just closing shop. Nafunga shop just because, I have things to do. I was actually nilikuwa naanza kuchangamka lakini but I will come back later, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Linus Gitonga pia wewe. Ani pia namekuona, nice seeing you. Unajuanga Ani akiingia kwa chat sasa umejua mambo imeshikanana sasa. Watu sasa vita iko karibu. But anyway guys, thank you so much. I have to go. Peace and blessings. I'll see you guys later. Peace.